So camellias are a common plant that people have in their gardens, and right now they're getting ready to bloom. So people might think, oh, this isn't the right time to cut, but there will be plenty of flowers left, so I'm not worried about that. And this is not a super stylized garden, so I don't need to really gussy up this camellia. There's a house right there, so I definitely don't want to reveal this garden, the privacy of this garden, by reducing the height there. But there are some really coarse wood, there's some coarse wood on some front branches, which just feels heavy in the face. I call it like it's punching me in the face. So I like to follow that coarse wood down to a nice side branch. Now this is maybe kind of going from too coarse to fine, and on some, this is coarse wood, fine wood, and on some plants I know that would not work both aesthetically or horticulturally, but in this case with the camellia, I know that it can take it. So I'm gonna make that cut. Oh, and it's harder to make than I thought because there's some old dead wood there. That little nub in there means somebody made a cut and it died in. So I'll have to either cut in deeper, which will probably be fine, or use my saw. But yeah, camellia is generally very soft wood. So when I make my cut, it's nice and smooth. It's not ragged. My tools are kept sharp and clean. And a sharp, clean, smooth cut means better healing and more attractive and less disease. So even just that looks so much better. You'll be able to see all these new flowers coming in. And this is called a reduction cut. And this is a great way to keep your trees smaller and yet still looking natural with a nice flow, as opposed to taking electric head shears and just kind of buzzing along, which might be suitable if you have you know, a mile of camellias in the back 40, but that's not what I want to do here. So I take the coarse wood off here, and let's see, there's not much going on this one. Is there anything nice to reveal behind? Not really. So we'll just cut light on this. Maybe next year I'll cut down lower. I had this dead piece here. If that was alive, I might have cut to here, or I know I would have cut to there. So I always make sure to try to reduce the top just a little bit if I know I want to keep the plant a certain size. So if this was like a fine Japanese garden, I would be pruning this very differently. This is too coarse and upright here. I would definitely be going quite a bit lower, like perhaps to here. Japanese gardens, it's all about curves. And the foundation of aesthetic pruning came from bonsai. And so I definitely pay homage to that history, but I don't do bonsai, and Japanese gardens are not where I choose to focus the bulk of my pruning, but I understand how that pruning works, and to always think about curve and flow in my branches rather than just picking really upright branches. If I can reduce a branch, I don't want to choose the most upright, stiff branch. I want to choose a branch that has some curve and flow. So you don't even notice that the branch has been reduced. Oftentimes I will cut down a shrub by 3 or 4 feet, and the client will come home and say, "It doesn't look like you did anything." And I say, "Thank you," because that means that I pruned in a way that was complementary to the shape of the tree. I don't need my pruning to be a billboard of what I've done. It's quiet, it's subtle. Even if I've pruned pretty hard, it just should look natural for me, unless it's, again, a Japanese garden, which is highly stylized. But even then, I'm not going to do butchery. And this plant is not super happy. There's some dead wood. So I'm just giving you a brief example. I'm not going in and doing the whole plant, but certainly dead wood would be the first thing that I would be looking at. So if this whole thing is dead, I can tell just by the sound, and that there's dead leaves all the way to the interior. So I'm just going to take that out altogether. And this is the correct cut. all the way to the trunk. So many people will make a cut by leaving a big stub. Well, that stub is just going to die in and promote rot down here. I can see where I made this cut, there's only just a tiny bit of dead wood there. So that's going to keep this branch healthy because I took this dead branch out sooner rather than later.